All right, man, we got this is Zion's last chance from the low post. Let's get it.
The 2025 all season is going to go down as a summer of body transformations. We first saw it with Luka Doncic as he graced
What's good, Lo? I ain't seen this nigga in a minute.
a
What's
new
good,
thin
Lo?
frame on a cover of a magazine, and you can clearly see he's prepared to silence a lot of his critics in his upcoming season that for whatever reason was really loud once he got traded to the Lakers. I don't know why. Then over the last week or so, I've seen a lot of pictures of Joel Embiid and his arms looking kind of thin, his waist looking a little skinnier as well. I definitely cannot wait to see what we're going to get out of Embiid this upcoming season. However, the one body transformation that really has the potential to change the complexion of the NBA landscape in the upcoming years is Zion Williamson. Now I know
I ain't heard that
what
name in
you're going to
so
sit here and
long.
say. Low,
This
how
dude
could you?
Zion
How
tripping.
could you fall for the same tactics? You're a veteran in the game. These are the same media day manipulation tactics. He shows up in media day looking skinnier. He's answering perfectly. Every question gets the perfect answer. And then bada boom, bada bang, a couple months later, he looks just like you. And you know what? You're right. I can't even deny it, dog. He entered the NBA weighing a whopping 285 pounds. He was the heaviest player in the league before he even stepped foot in it. Weighed more than Boban. A couple of years later, there were some reports claiming that he might have gotten over 300 pounds by the end of his sophomore season.
Yo, that is a goofy picture.
Then a couple years after that, it started happening, right? Take a couple pictures, right angle, he's slimming down. Then a couple months later, gained the weight again. Same thing again. I think he did it just last all season. He took a picture, neck all poked out, all looking like this. He went on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, said all the right things. Yeah, man, I just need to diet, get a little healthier. And then last season, he only played 30 games, a whopping 30 games, because he was dealing with a hamstring injury and he just couldn't sustain himself on the floor for any extended period of time because he was out of shape. But trust me when I say this year is different because...
Hey, man, I just want to say how bullshit money is, bro. This nigga Zion really over here getting injured, barely playing the game. And still on contract. This nigga is out here dealing with a hamstring injury and still on contract for millions of dollars. Meanwhile, you got niggas paving roads and only getting $1,000. System so bogus. Like they just need to like smite the money system. I'm so serious. They gotta destroy this shit.
There's a lot of things at jeopardy that he must secure, just like yourself as well. And I can help you out with your security thanks to today's sponsors and Delete Me. As you can see behind me, I have recently...
Yeah, let me go in there and skip that.
that my name is I've partnered with sites 2 weeks past has mine there are to this level, but exactly of any of the percent off in this video. Just briefly, in the beginning of last year's regular season, I did make a video about this topic last year, but just briefly,
I think Zion might be the only player in history to come into the league and be like a straight up letdown. Like this dude didn't play at all in the league. I didn't see him at all last year, didn't see him the year before, and barely seen him the year after that.
Beginning of last year's regular season, Zion randomly just departed from his agency. This, of course, raised a lot of questions, and many people speculated the reason why he did so is because he quickly realized that he was presented and signed a contract that did not provide him with guaranteed money. Now, see, in the NBA, that's a big no-no. Everyone in the league receives a guaranteed contract damn near, especially if you are a star or a player that has the potential to be a star like Zion. But see,
yeah, especially if you were a player that was literally dick riding from high school. Like I still can't let this down, bro. This dude was literally dick riding from high school. Not even high school, from middle school, I'm pretty much sure. You got like, I'm in middle school. This dude's in high school over here playing AAU games, dunking on little white boys and shit. And niggas talking about so he gonna be the NBA's prodigy.
he received. What Zion received was a contract filled with clauses and stipulations, and that if he were to void any of them, then the last 3 years of his contract would no longer be guaranteed. And then right after signing that contract, the very next year, because he only played 29 games, he voided the contract, and now the guarantee status of his last 3 years of his deal is no longer guaranteed. And this year is the first year of the last 3 years of his contract. Crazy how that works. Now, there is a way in which Zion can retain his guaranteed status if he meets certain requirements. And what exactly are those? First, 20% of his salary will be earned back if he passes all 6 of his weigh-in checkpoints. At these checkpoints, he has to make sure a combination of his weight and his body fat does not exceed 295. After that, another 40% of his salary can be earned back if he finishes the season playing more than 41 games. Another 20% of his salary will be earned back if he plays 51 games, and the final 20% of his salary will be earned back if he finishes the season playing 61 games. Now, what exactly does that look like for Zion monetarily? Well, this season,
it means lose some fucking weight and play more games and stay healthy.
Zion is signed for $39,446,000.
This nigga is 25 years old. Bro, where's my audio?
Checking $146,000. If he doesn't pass all 6 of his check-in points, then he's losing 20%, which translates to nearly $8 million. And then if he's unable to play 61 games this season, which he's only done twice in his career, that'll be another 20%, which means it's another near $8 million, totaling to nearly $16 million that he could lose just like that. And if we were to extrapolate this over the last 3 years of his contract, where he is owed $126 million, if again he does not pass all 6 of the check-in points and also fails to play 61 games in all 3 of his last 3 years of his contract, well, he goes from $126 million, loses $50 million in the process, which then means he's now only earning around $70 million. Going from 126 to 70 million is a major loss. So yes, I know Zion does this all the time.
It is a major loss, but like, bro, do you think, bro, this nigga is not even playing the game. He's not even playing basketball, and he's still guaranteed money. He's not even playing basketball. Like, he's just, and even if niggas say, oh, but he's dealing with an injury. Like, bro, this dude is dealing with an injury, but he's still sitting at home eating chips and shit. Like, how does this nigga somehow get skinny and then all of a sudden just gains all the way back? Like, this dude's a fraud.
To media day at training camp looking skinnier. He goes to media day answering all the questions perfectly, and then a couple of months later, he's back up to 280, 290 pounds. Yes, I know this. However, there is much more at jeopardy. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars. We're talking about 40% of your check. 40% of 42 million for the 26-27 year, 45 million, 40% of that gone just like that in that final year of your contract. That is what is at jeopardy. And even if it's not that, if that's not enough of a motivating factor for Zion, then also consider the fact that because his contract is no longer guaranteed, if he really forces this issue and it gets so out of hand, bro, the Pelicans could just waive him. They could just cut him, and they are not required to pay him anything whatsoever. Now, I don't believe it's going to get to that extreme, but if it does, bro, there's no other team in the NBA that is in position to give Zion $42 million in 2027 and $45 million in 2028. That team just does not.
That's actually crazy to think about. They could just waive him and then not give him anything, but they're not gonna do that because it's the Pelicans and they need a fucking player. They need a player, and Zion was looking good back in the days, back in high school, middle school, AAU and shit, summer league. So you know they thinking like, man, this player gonna be good. We gotta get him on the team. And they do still need that. They do still need that star athlete on their team. But like, bro, this nigga is just letting them down. So I don't know, man.
So that is what is at stake for Zion. And I believe that is a more than enough motivating factor for Zion to start turning things around. And when he does that, because it seems as if like he is, the reason why I believe that this transformation matters a lot more is because of the player that Zion is when he is available and playing basketball. I think too many people in this space casually dismiss who Zion is as a basketball player. And to a degree, I understand. He doesn't play basketball games. He's very unserious, and everything has really just centered around this idea of him not losing weight. However, when he does play, bro, Zion is easily one of the best players in the NBA. In his sophomore season, only playing 61 games, Zion averaged 27 points, 7 rebounds, nearly 4 assists, while shooting 61% from the field and got to the charity stripe nearly 9 times a game, only playing 33 minutes. After that, in the 2023 season, he averaged 22 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists with a steal, nearly a block, converted 57% of his shots. And last year, we talked about this. In the middle of the year, Zion cleaned up his act, started taking things much serious. It was reported that he was the lightest that he had been since his college days. And because of that, in the last 20 games of the regular season, Zion averaged 26 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists with the steal and the block, and converted 61% of his shots and got to the free throw line 8 times, converting 67% of them.
See, that's the crazy part. I don't want nobody, including myself, to act like this player is not good. But this nigga is good at basketball. But like, bro, like, what is this conditioning he got going on? Like, this dude, like, he's worse than AD. This dude gets injured and then he just gets fatter, and then the dude gets heavy and shit. Like, this is just it's all over the place. And then when he shows up, like Lo said, he shows up on media. Nigga shows up on media and answering all the questions. He's looking slimmer, looking like he lost a good amount of weight. And then literally 2-3 months, 4 months later, dude back to where he was at before. Like, his conditioning is trash. I don't know what it is.
Now you may be telling yourself, well, that's just what he normally does. However, he did that last year. In the last 20 games when he was healthy and lost weight, he produced at that level while only playing 28 minutes a night. I'm not a per 36 guy, but at bare minimum, Zion, if he is fully healthy, ready to go, he is someone who can be a fringe 30-point per game scorer, someone who is finishing at the level of a Giannis, an AD, a Jokic, aka a generational finisher, and someone who has a lot of untapped potential, especially as a passer and playmaker, which is something that we saw pretty frequently all throughout that 20-game sample size. And yes, the 20 games, it's small. And yes, he's shown up and down stretches throughout his career where he looks just as good as that, but also noticeably worse. The biggest piece to this puzzle isn't just that Zion can be Zion and be the superstar caliber player that we're waiting for. It's also acknowledging that the Pelicans have done a pretty good job outside his last offseason. I'm not a fan of what they did over the summer, but the Pelicans have done a pretty good job at piecing a roster that in theory should look really good next to Zion when he is healthy and playing. Trey Murphy is taking a noticeable leap last year that I do believe he's going to continue to build on. Herb Jones over the past 2 years not only is one of the league's best wing defenders, but also has added a 3-point shot to his game that may not be the most consistent, but certainly necessary for what this team is going to look like moving forward. Jordan Poole 2 years ago was the laughingstock of the NBA. However, last year I think many people have overlooked how great.
No, Jordan Poole is definitely a great player.
Organizing the offense, being a much
I just think Jordan Poole is inconsistent as fuck. Like, this dude is like the equivalent of a Chris Middleton. Like, he could be an all-star at some nights, dropping 20 points, 12 like triple doubles on a regular, and then some nights he is like Lo said, a laughing stock, and this dude's not doing anything.
playmaker than he was in his first year in Washington. And
Especially on
overall
the Warriors. Oh
developed into a
my
much
God.
more
That dude
mature
was just
guard.
looking.
And then you have Yves Missi, who
He
I'm
was
not
so
the biggest fan of
inconsistent, my
fitting
nigga.
next to Zion, but last year he showed a lot of promise as well as a traditional archetype of a rim-running lob threat big. These are all pieces that stand alone may not be the greatest. Outside of Trey Murphy, I'm actually a huge fan of Trey Murphy, but stand alone might not be that great. But if you put them around Zion, especially in small ball lineups, this is a team that could make some noise. This is a team that could surprise a lot of people, and this is a team that is perfectly and uniquely structured to maximize who Zion could be moving forward. I do believe a lot of who
And
Zion
they do got a nice small ball lineup. I mean, everybody on their team is small. They don't really got no big players.
Past 3 to 4 years,
no crazy big players. Like Zion is like what, a small forward, power forward for 6'7".
The then 20-year-old was put around lineups that featured Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe, which are just horrible fits next to Zion. And even though I was slightly high on Brandon Ingram early on in his tenure with the Pelicans, as time continued to progress, his inconsistent shot making was certainly concerning, and his inability to put a lot of pressure on the defense behind the three-point line definitely left a lot of things lacking on the offensive side of the floor, regardless if it was individually or pairing alongside who Zion was and slowly becoming.
I'm interested to see how this year's NBA season will go. I'm very interested to see. Like, I want to see Zion on the court, but like, bro, that's up to that nigga, bro. I'm interested to see how this new season gonna go, cause I don't know what's gonna happen. Luka's still on the Lakers, right? I think if he is, that's pretty crazy.
Better recipe for higher, more efficient offense, which is something I do believe we're going to see.
Dang, Luka with
transition can continuously happen.
Luka with
to be able to push the pace
Bronny
way
is
more than
gonna
any
be
other
crazy.
guard that's played next to Zion since Lonzo. And overall,
I forgot about Lonzo.
When everyone is healthy, especially when DeJounte Murray comes back and a couple of players don't have to play out of position, I do think that this team is going to be much more surprising if everything is put together properly. But everything, and I do mean everything, has to come together when Zion is playing at the level in which I believe he will play this upcoming year. Do I believe they're going to be a team that's going to make the playoffs in the competitive Western Conference? No. Do I believe they're going to be a team that can manifest themselves to a 50-win ball club? Probably not. But do I believe that this could be the beginning stages of something very special in New Orleans? Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Because tens of millions of dollars are at stake right now, Zion. So let's lock in, get it together. Everyone wants you to be successful. Everyone.
Facts.
Especially as the next face of the NBA, the league needs you. And I think they're going to get it this year. But hey, those are my thoughts. Please let me know yours in the comment section below. And until next time, I'll see you all later. Peace.
No, I like that video. I like that video, Low.